That is discipline. Selfish.
No joke. We're legitimate.
Let's fucking do this. Then do it. Do it 100%, because I'm trying to.
We recognize that we are limitless.
You gotta be a champion to become a champion, right? Winning is a habit because we create habits that lead to good execution and success.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Coaches Show. I'm Coach Mike Bianca of the Atlanta Jungle Cats, and tonight we're doing things a little bit differently. Again, normally I'm joined here by Coach Ryan Gray of Red Legion. Unfortunately, Ryan had a flight to catch tonight, so he couldn't be here. I certainly wish him safe travels and Godspeed, my friend. We'll see you soon. He's having a great time enjoying life with his wife. Being reminded of this, I thought to myself, we just had Joey Blued on. Who would be the next logical guest co-host? And I decided on Coach Kevin Bredthauer of Tampa Bay Damage, which honestly is either a fantastic idea or catastrophic lapse in judgment. So I'm going to bring Kevin in right now. Welcome, Kevin.
All right. You didn't tell him that Ryan's actually suspended from the show for an episode.
We're not
yes.
supposed to do that. He's doing the contract thing. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, we've had some great coaches on this program. We've had some great players. You've been on the show several times. We've had some great conversations. But tonight, we're going to find out something very important. How much does Kevin actually know? Because tonight's show is going to be a little bit of an experiment. We've broken the show into 3 segments. The first one is called Past versus Current, and Kevin and I are going to kind of bounce this around. You know, he's been around the game for a long time. He's played it, he's coached it, he's watched it evolve. He's seen players, teams, technology, coaching philosophies, and the game itself change dramatically. You have. It's a fact. So I'm going to ask him some questions about how the game and coaching has evolved, and then we'll kind of play around with that. And here's where things get interesting. If Kevin gives what you determine to be a wrong answer, the audience, you get to vote on whether he gets shocked. That's right.
Yes.
We're putting Kevin's fate in your hands of the people watching tonight. Kevin is rigged up with a remote shock collar. It's not on his neck. You'll never guess where. Now, Kevin, before you start complaining, I want to point out that this is a democracy, a deeply irresponsible democracy, but a democracy nonetheless. And don't worry, I have a whole list of questions.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm kidding. But for real, if he says something you don't like, put shocked or zzz in the comments. And then we'll determine if, had he been actually rigged up, would he have made it through tonight's show conscious? Anyway, after that, we're going to get a little more personal. So we're going to try and find out how much Kevin knows, how honest Kevin is, rather. And depending on how the audience votes, how much Kevin enjoys electricity. No, I already said we're not doing that. It's okay. Once we've hopefully established that Kevin is still conscious, we're going to go into a segment called Agree or Disagree. And this is going to be interesting. We kind of came up with some ideas or statements. And then Kevin and I will give our responses to whether or not we agree or disagree. I have a feeling Kevin and I may not agree on everything tonight. And that's exactly why, that's what you guys should want, right? I'm sure of it, because the best conversations aren't 2 people sitting around agreeing with each other for an hour, right? They're 2 people who've spent enough time in this game to have developed opinions and aren't afraid to defend them. And I know Kevin has plenty of them and knows how to defend them. That being said, we're going to finish the show with what I think is probably going to be everybody's favorite segment, Open Forum and Story Time with Kevin.
If we want it. We want.
Story Time with Kevin. It's going to be a good time. So we're going to take your questions from the chat. You guys can ask Kevin anything you want about playing, coaching, Tampa Bay Damage, evolution of the game, the things he's learned over the years. And while we're waiting for those questions to come in, I'm going to let Kevin tell some of his stories. Because if you've ever been around Kevin at a tournament or at a party, you already know that the man has a story for just about everything.
Yeah.
And speaking honestly, as I usually do, those stories are pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie. So tonight, we've got 2 coaches, 2 philosophies, 1 game. We're going to talk about paintball. We're going to have a little fun while we're doing it. This is episode 125 of the Coaches Show. Thanks to our awesome sponsors. First up, Max Sportswear. If you're looking for premium custom jerseys, pants, gloves, packs, or other team gear, Charles and the crew at Max have you covered. They've been a huge part of what we do here at the Coaches Show, and they continue to deliver the quality service and attention to detail that teams deserve. Wouldn't you agree, Kevin?
Yes.
Whether you're building a brand new team or getting your existing program ready for the next level, get Maxed. The Coaches Show is proudly sponsored by BKI Paintball. BKI has been the go-to destination for paintball players and teams looking to improve their game since paintball hit the internet. You'll find everything you need to compete at your best, from individual to team, from playing to coaching. BKI has centralized some of the greatest minds in paintball all in one place. Whether you're a serious competitor or a beginner, this is where you need to be. Check out BKI Paintball and become a member today at bkipaintball.com. And of course, we want to thank Virtue Paintball for supporting the Coaches Show. Virtue has been pushing paintball technology and equipment forward for years, from their gear and protection to the products players depend on every time they step onto the field. They're committed to helping players perform at their highest level, and that's something we all know, I think we can all agree about, right? Virtue Paintball, built for players who take the game seriously. All right. Here we go. Man, it's already happening.
Oh, I did want to add, so there was all the USA practices this weekend, so that would be for the third segment. That would be good for other questions, because there's
I agree.
Four of the 5 teams were there, so yeah.
What team were we missing? The veterans?
The team I coach.
Oh, the pro. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So,
you had some of them there though, right? Because
not really. No. I mean, Kyle and Marcelo were there, but they were doing their jobs. So, and then Rainey was there too, but he was watching. So, yes.
Okay. I love it. All right. So they weren't there, but how did everybody look though? Right.
I mean, I thought it was pretty. I was a little surprised. Like on Sunday, the veterans did they played the U19 a lot, and they beat them up on Sunday. So I was a little surprised by that. So, but I mean, you can't win practice. So
no.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited because you and I were talking about this in the green room. It was one of the most memorable events I've ever had in paintball. And it was such a great time to be a part of that and to bring home 8 or 9 golds. I think it was 8 golds and 1 bronze or something like that, but it was pretty incredible. So,
it's pretty cool because it's for the wide variety of all the USA people hang out, and it's just super cool. Even the little kids come talk to me, to the oldest guy out that on one of our teams. Yeah, so it's really neat.
Yeah, I love it. It's a fantastic program. Can't thank the crew behind it, obviously, right? Committed Paintball, Boston Paintball, Anthony, just everybody there associated with Team USA. It's just fantastic. And I think
it's fun too, because what's weird for me now is I hang out with the parents because they're closer to age than me than all of the players. So, yeah, one of them's in here now. Kenny's in here too.
Excellent. So. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Welcome, Kenny. Shock him twice for good measure.
Yes.
Well, let's get into it. So you and I kind of had this idea, this theory about, hey, wouldn't it be cool to kind of compare, past versus current? And we kind of threw out a couple of questions, and we just want to kick things off, kind of get your first thoughts on some of these questions and maybe have a little discussion about it. And we won't spend too much time on this, but I'd imagine some of these questions will be answered by some of your answers, right? So that was funny. Did anyone catch that? I'd imagine some of these questions will be answered by some of your answers.
Yes.
And then was some of the other questions.
Yeah.
Answered. All right, so let's kick it off. What's something teams routinely underestimate?
I think the biggest thing for all teams, it doesn't matter what, is continuity. That's something that teams always are if we pick up this guy, we'll be better. Not really. I think continuity is by far, even this is all sports too. This is not just ours. You'll watch those teams that win the NBA championship or the NFL one. Their core group has been together. It's not because, they added this one guy and then they won the championship. That almost never happens.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really think that hardly ever happens. It usually takes a couple years and then they get there because they develop that continuity. So that's something too. I know it's a little bit harder on the divisional levels, but sometimes sticking with the people you started with is a better idea.
I think you're seeing that, right? Look at the rise of Uprising, right?
Yeah, or like the Fits, or the like.
Yep.
There's a bunch of, or I mean, Damage is like that, and I mean,
Dynasty for the
Dynasty's
longest time.
yeah, it's evolved over time, but like, yeah. So yeah, and Impact's had pretty much the same guy, most of the same guys for a very long time. So
I agree.
continuity is a huge deal, which is why sometimes some of the younger teams try to add too many people. I always thought the best thing to do is add no one.
Right.
So
the
yeah,
familiarity of it all.
yes,
Right?
because the communication is the part that doesn't, it doesn't matter your talent level if that comes with like time.
Excellent. That's a good one. So would you say in the past, right, that was the big thing, right? Everyone was doing the weapons race. We saw a little bit of that recently, you know, in the modern era where everyone's trying to pick up the weapons race. Damage.
Yeah, but they don't. But that's like two guys. It's not like a whole group of them, you know. So, yeah, sure. I mean, I think maybe 5 years ago that might have been more, but I don't think that it changes a whole lot. Like, there's not a huge overhauls of teams. Not that much. Not ones that are good. So,
That's a good point. Well, that might be a good transition into this next question. What's something teams think about or think matters that really doesn't? Is there anything you see that teams think that, hey, this really matters, we really need to focus on, and it doesn't really play into anything?
well, this is weird. So I think it's weird that people worry so much about series. Like, they'll play in like the WCs out here, and they'll try to win. Like, they'll try to play all of them. And what I think would be like more advantageous and better for your team is if you played like one of the ones in Texas, one of the ones in Florida, or one of the ones wherever, like, or the closer NXL event, play that one. Like, I think that would be way better. Like, and it's way more fun too. I mean, obviously it's a little more expensive, but not really. Like, not when you really add it up.
So I see what you're saying. I think what you're alluding to is the fact that they would, hey, let's go experiment and let's go experience all these different leagues and not worry about a series win. Let's worry about event wins, right?
Yeah.
Pick up different things, see different views. Because, I mean, honestly, I bet you, if you were to look and compare like the WCPPL series to a Florida series or a Carolina series or something, you're going to see different styles and different.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. So it's
or go crazy, go to like Aruba, like, or the Europe for one event. You can do it. So like, I just think that would be way more. It would be way more fun, and you have way better stories than just being at your local series all the time. So
I think that's a great point. I like that. Series. Quit worrying about the series. Go experience it all.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. All right. So let's kind of throw it back a little. What did teams, because you were probably playing at this time, what did teams do 10 to 15 years ago that you wish they still did today?
Well, that was a little different. Well, I guess I'm not sure exactly what the format was depending on the years. So obviously 10 man is dramatic and 7 man are dramatically different than like the X ball of today. I do think the one thing that teams are like starting with the 3-man, they're not so focused on one format because it really doesn't matter. It's still paintball. Like, so I think the slightly different formats is always fun, like whether it's 10 man in the woods or 3-man or whatever. But I don't know if there's anything I would still wish they did today. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a great answer for that one.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it would be fun. I thought maybe you could throw something out there that I couldn't think of, and I
don't have a good one for that. Yeah.
No, I don't think. How's the audio now, ladies and gentlemen? Everything good? It's not
Yeah,
you, Kevin. It was me. They were saying my mic was a little low. Okay, so let's that one. We'll throw that one out. That one sucked.
That's fine.
Let's see. Here's one. What did old school teams do that wouldn't work today?
That's interesting. I'm that wouldn't work at all. Like I think most of the stuff they did would work. Like I mean there was like a lot of the old school teams had big continuity. There was not like there was all the teams from like they'd all be from the same place more so than they are today.
Mhm.
So um yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think most of the stuff. Well, the fighting they used to fight a lot. That was I
Never
never
worked
understood.
today.
No, it seems silly to me, but there's a lot of that. So I feel like, but
You know what
yeah,
used to amaze me was the 15 balls per second, right? And you had less
yes,
bunkers, and people were still
yes,
making bunkers.
yes. Like how people would miss was kind of shocked to me. I didn't play that a lot, or really, like, I never really coached that, but it just seemed. I don't know how that was as fun as it is now. Like just because like it was just harder to get places. So I don't
Right.
know.
That's what always amazed me. So I think, and we had this conversation on the show several months ago, but the difference between the run and gunning capabilities, even with the higher rate of fire, the
Yeah,
difference between the run and gun capabilities versus the pros today. If you were to take some of the pros from like 2003, 2004, that era of, serious
yeah.
high school, and compare it to the run and gun of the pros now, I think it's night and day. I don't think it would
Oh,
be
yeah, of course. Yes.
so. And I
Yeah,
think that's really what the real change is. But
yeah, yes, and like times of the length of game times is obviously a lot different too.
that's a good
So
point, right? It used to be 20-minute halves,
yeah, yeah,
nonstop. So
yes,
yeah. So I guess really are players today more skilled or
yes.
simply skilled in different ways?
I think they're more skilled as a whole. It's kind of like anything else, like any other sport. It doesn't matter what it is. There's new tools along the way that have helped all those players develop. Whether it's like recovery, it's like a video or scouting or watching yourself in video. Like there's way more coaches now than there ever have been, and there's extra tools, and then you could go to clinics and all these other things. You have a lot more tools to make yourself much better, and I think you can play against. There's more higher level of players, so you can play against better players. So I would say it's not close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you're spot on.
but I do think if those players had the same tools as today, they would be just as good. Yeah, that's the difference. So
That's a valid point, right? But I think you're right. I think a lot of players have a lot of assets today that people just
yeah,
didn't
it
have
didn't
access.
exist.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
didn't exist, and they just had to get out there and grind. And I mean,
right,
they were creating it, right? They're the ones that were creating these systems,
right,
and
right.
just more people got involved, and as more people got involved, things evolved, and we
Yes,
started seeing these new assets roll around, new training videos, like you said, BKI, great example.
yeah,
Summer camp, Team
yes.
USA, clinics, all these different things. So yeah, I think that all lays into it. So, but
This show.
yeah, but that's the show. That's a great point, right? The main reason why Ryan and I did this is
Yeah,
there's no book to this, right?
no.
We're making this up as it now. Guys like yourself have kind of laid the groundwork, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think but like I've learned from other coaches along the way, or I'd be like, oh, I like that thing, or I like
Mhm.
this. Like I've borrowed things, but generally you kind of do it your own way anyways. So in
Right.
the end, in my opinion. So
Yeah. I do want to kind of jump back to when we were talking about the assets and the technology. Do you think technology has made players better thinkers, or has it made them more dependent on information?
I think it probably hurts creativity a little bit because they're a little more worried about like what they look like on video. Like like a great example is of two players I've coached is like Blake from Dynasty and Chad from and Damage. They screw up all practice long, but they're ruling stuff out along the way, but they don't care because it's practice. So they'd rather do that then. So they're not afraid to fail because they're not failing because they're setting themselves up for success later. So but yeah, failure in practice I think is excellent because I'm like, oh, that was terrible. Like that doesn't work at all. But if you don't do it, how do you never know? So I think a lot of teams are too vanilla, and I think and maybe that's because of video and of, I don't want to say their stats, but what they, you know, I don't want to say they're stat hunting, but it's kind of like that.
Right. There's no ego with Chad and Blake there, right? They don't care.
Yes, none.
You want me
Like,
on video doing this dumb thing at practice?
yes,
That's where I'm supposed to
exactly.
do it. Now watch
Yes.
me at the event, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
it's perfect. I think it's like I always look back to when we had sideline coaching, which frankly I hated. I didn't appreciate it because I felt like we created a generation of automatons, right? They didn't really learn
Yes.
the game.
Just little robots out there.
Little
Yes.
robots
Yeah.
out there, right?
Yeah.
And then so they had the hardest time adjusting, I think.
Yeah.
When we came out of that era. But that's something I thought about often. But I love the fact that you used Blake and Chad as an example. That's perfect, right? No ego. Hey, I
Yes.
don't care. Right.
But it's a creativity thing too. So like that's something I do think some of the tools inhibit. Like because a lot or people don't let that happen because like sometimes, your teammates will get mad because you're doing weird stuff. Like but
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah.
Tried that 16 times now.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, and I keep getting shot in the back over and over again. So yeah,
Quit doing that one. That's not very creative anymore. So I love it. But no, that's a great point. No ego. It does stifle creativity. I get that.
Yes,
It makes a lot of sense. So in sticking with that, then has coaching become more important as the game has become more sophisticated?
1,000%. Like, I mean, it's not so much. Well, it's always been important, but like you can tell all the good teams, you can't have one coach anymore. And a lot of times before, it wasn't that there weren't more coaches; they were just players. So they were literally players on the team. Like, I mean, I think you've seen there's always multiple guys that like coach teams as well. Like, and I think that's how you become a better player. Like, actually, like that was what was interesting is after Dover, I talked to Thomas Hara for a little bit, and he's like, "Do you think I should coach a team?" I was like, "Yes." You'll get better, like because you learn all the things that you are asking your coaches and how to feed them information better. It's changed dramatically because of scouting, because of like analytics type stuff, so you can track some stuff. It doesn't mean everything, but it's an extra tool that we didn't use as much before. Like on Dynasty, when I played a long time ago, we never had a coach, like ever, like until much later. So I was like, I don't even know how we figured stuff out then. Like, so, like, actually nobody had one. Like, so it was, I don't understand how that's how we figured that out, but yeah.
Yeah. It is a fascinating to watch the rise of the coach in paintball, right? And now one of the first things we sit there and recognize is we'll ask questions, especially when we go to clinics and et cetera. Do you have a coach? And it's usually the teams that are asking for clinics are the teams that don't have coaches.
Right.
So and basically what most of my clinics have been is teaching teams how to practice. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that can be very different depending on the level of and what you have available too. So
yeah, it's crazy. But it has been fascinating, and it's also interesting to see the different styles of coaching, the different, analytics that people take, the different way coaches handle certain situations. It's for me, it's been a journey. Like you, I've learned so much more from other people, right? Standing on the shoulders of giants, but it's an incredible process. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's absolutely, you got to have it now, right?
Yeah.
Now, would you say coaching is harder than playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I
I
have to
mean,
worry. I have to worry about 10 people, and not just the people on the field, the ones off the field too, and then the other team as well. So, and then also even other things like pit crews and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can worry about if you're not prepared.
100%.
So yeah. So is it harder? Yes, it's not close.
Yeah.
Like that was funny. Like so Jake didn't play in Ohio and because he was hurt and he literally comes to me and he's like, how does this not stress you out so bad? Because he was just watching the points and he was like, uh uh yeah, and he was like, I can't. I'm so stressed out right now, and I can't do anything. So it was kind of nice to he gets it a little better. So
You know,
yes,
it's the hardest transition was for me, right? Is transfer. I was a player, then I was a player coach, and then I was a coach. And the hardest thing for me as a coach was wanting to be out there, right? And so, being in the mix. And it was fascinating. It's funny that we had this question because this past weekend the Jungle Cats were practicing out at beautiful Prime in Leeds, Alabama, and one of my players is injured, and so I was like, all right, well, you're on my hip all weekend,
yeah,
right? And this is your job, this is your role. And I want you to ask questions and I'm going to show you things. And during points, he would listen to me say things. He would listen to me take notes. He would watch me take data. And then I'd turn and ask him, I said, now, why do you think I just asked that player that question? He's like, I don't know, this, that, and the other. And he said, he's like, and I would tell him why. And the more we went through the weekend, the more he started telling me, man, I didn't realize. Right.
yeah,
So his natural instinct is to go correct the individual. I said, no, as a coach, you have to work with the individual within the context of the team because that individual may have made a mistake, but what led to it? Was there something else? Was there a miscommunication? Was there a misunderstanding? Was there a misread? Was there you got to study the whole thing and then explain to the player in the context how with the team. You don't just go fix the one thing that one time with that one player. You bring the team in.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that one player doesn't work. Like unless it's like something they are doing individually. But yes, it
Right.
doesn't help that much.
And now there are instances, right, where a player quite literally did
Yes,
cause the issue, right?
yeah,
But in a lot of instances, it's not that you want to. If you want to truly coach, then you have to look at it from a full perspective. But it was fascinating to watch this young man get it. He started, man, and he coaches a team, which I think is
right.
fantastic. I think he's going to be that much better now. He's going to be able to go back and really understand how he can improve certain things, even in the lower divisional level. I think that's
Absolute. Like one of my favorite things to do is to have one of the people I've taught something teach it to someone else, which I did this weekend. So like I've been working with one of the USA kids for a while, and he literally taught the women's team this technique of a tool to use. And like he said something at the end of it that I was like, I've never thought of that before. So like they can teach you too, which is and he's a young kid, he's 16, like his dad's in here. So but he taught me something that I hadn't really thought of. And I was like, that's why like I remember like the first time I shared stuff with Ryan and things like that, I was like, if you learn something, you got to, that's my only rule, tell me.
right.
So so
I think that's what you, me, Ryan, we've always said. Hey, if you take this and you improve it, share
yeah,
it. Right.
yeah, yeah,
Help them.
exactly.
So, Lord knows, you and I had very similar but different scouting systems, right?
Yes.
Heading went to Europe when I went to help Team USA with you 2 years ago,
Yeah.
but it was so simple, and you and I had such great conversations about why one system was efficient and why it was efficient for you, and all these different
Yes.
things. And it's incredible to understand that and to watch a coach engage and address certain players.
Right.
That to me, I love it. I absolutely love it. So we've got a lot of, by the way, I did want to let you know, Patrick McKenna was in here. He said he agrees 100% coaching is more difficult.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Wait, we got a couple of things here. I'm starring a lot of questions, people. A lot of you guys are sounding off in there, and I'm starring a lot of them. We'll come back to them. I kind of want to keep this going. We're kind of getting a little, this is good here. So here's a tough one for you. And I will answer this question as well, because I already know the answer for me. What's your biggest weakness as a coach?
Oh, I don't. That's an interesting question because it depend. I guess it depends on the person, the player, because the way because you kind of have to coach the same way for the team, but you can individually coach people as well. So there's certain players that are. It's harder to determine how they need to be coached. So it probably takes me too long to figure out how they need stuff best. So, I mean, I've gotten better at it over the years, but that's something that I think maybe it's because I don't want to say the wrong thing. So that I might be a little slow on if I know something's wrong, I watch it a couple times and then go talk to about it and be like, this wasn't just one time. Like it was like several times.
Right. I think you
So,
and I have that in common. I would say if I had a weakness, I guess the way I would sum it up is I'm too nice. There are times I'm a little too nice about things, right? And to your point,
uh,
not
yeah,
everybody learns the same way. So if I'm
right.
delivering it in a manner that's right, there are some people that need that trauma. There are some
Yeah,
people that need
sure.
that that shock to the. And I didn't mean to throw a punch. I don't mean that I'm hating
Yeah,
my players, but do I
yes.
want to? But to your point, I think sometimes, right? I know there's a problem. I'm addressing it. I'm fixing it, but I'm not taking the right approach to fix it with that particular player. Right.
Yeah, I guess also that the other thing would be time, because like sometimes people forget that they're like you didn't like some of your other players will be like you didn't go talk to him about this. I'm like I got nine other guys I got to worry about too. So like I will figure that out when I have the time because like when you go to practices or tournaments, you get asked 400 million questions all day long.
All day long.
Like all day, like who knows what stuff like.
Right.
So I
No,
think that trying to make your questions efficient like is very helpful.
what a great thank you. So making your questions efficient. By the way, I had that exact same thing happen this weekend, right? You need to
Okay.
go up there and shoot him in the face with a bazooka right now, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, and I'm like, relax.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But oh, and look at this. One of my players is in the chat. He says he needs to join the should practice. Joey, no, nobody wants that. Although it looked like we won't even get into that.
Doesn't that depend on the state, like which
It,
ones you're allowed to punch people
we're in
in? Like
Alabama,
I
buddy.
think,
We're in
yeah,
Alabama.
it's fine then.
It's
Yeah.
fine. we've got the castle doctrine here. I could probably shoot one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they're like it looked like he was threatening my life.
That's right. I stood my ground. So here's a question that I thought might get interesting, right? What's one coaching mistake you've made that taught you something important?
I mean, obviously, as coaches, that's another thing too. Like, I think sometimes players forget coaches make more mistakes than any player ever will. Like, it's not close.
It's not
Like, so, like, I'll send someone to their death like all the time.
right.
So, I don't know if this is answering your question though. Like one thing, so this is a thing that I do. I'm sure other coaches do it too. But if you're like the front guy and you're going for, I know it's a risk. I don't ever it never bothers me if you get shot on the break. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. That's on me, not on him, unless they fall over and whatever.
They
But
didn't
like,
tie their shoelaces. That's
yes, exactly. Yes. Yes. So I guess I mean I don't know if that's not answering your question.
well, no,
So
I see where you're going with it, right? Because I think most coaches do agree with you, right? That if I send you far and you get shot, hey, that was the risk that I
Yeah.
Gamble. I made that risk. That's not on you. That's on me.
Yeah.
Right? But I think what I'm talking about is more of along the lines. Was there a lesson learned at some point at a big moment in coaching? And it doesn't
Like
necessarily have to be
before, are you talking like during a match, or are we talking outside of that?
It can be outside of it. It can be anything. Cause like, for instance, for me, I learned something quite interesting over the last several years with, when dealing with certain personalities. Right.
Right.
Cause I'm honest to a fault, and sometimes too much so. Right. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. But sometimes one of the things I just feel like sometimes you have to just be straightforward and say, hey, you're not
Yes.
getting it done. Right.
Yeah.
And I tried to drag it along. Right. Wanted to make it work. I was going to figure out a way to unlock
Yeah.
this greatness in this guy.
So yeah, I think that's a fault of coaches, because they think they can fix people. It's almost like well, we are therapists, but like
Right.
it's a therapist that thinks they can fix everyone, and that you just might not be the coach for that person. Like that's a thing. That's a thing that's interesting, because some players you're like, I'm like, I don't know what to do with you. But
Yeah.
so
And I think one of the reasons why I personally had that approach was, Boca, right? And Paul Richards. He had this belief that if there's someone on your roster, he brings something to the table. He can be the ninth man of the 9-man
Yeah.
team, but he's got some skill set that eventually will work with a layout or a play or this combination or against this team or something. Right.
Or it may not be that even. It's like sometimes it's the stuff off the field that or like in between like the team, or he's the connector on the team, or he's or whatever it may be. Like I think that's so important, because like that, like maybe like you could have a guy that is your worst guy on your team, but he might be the most important, which sounds really strange, but I've seen this happens a lot.
Yeah. No, being a good teammate.
Yeah.
Right. Because being a good teammate and realizing that it's not about the name on the back, it's about the team.
Yes.
And if whatever I can do, okay, this wasn't my event, I'm going to fill pods. I'm going to clean you off.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what your mirror was doing on this play and what might give you an advantage. I saw this, right? Anything you can do to help. And I think that's the key component as well. So, Patrick McKenna, obviously, coach, Houston Heat, is in here. Trusting players on how they were eliminated is 90% of pro players I've coached was shot on a bounce shot.
Yes, yes.
Hey, how'd you get shot?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Or yes, that
it must be a bounce we didn't know about.
Yes, exactly. Pat is correct. So I didn't like if there were no bounces, I don't think my team would ever lose ever. So.
I do hate those ones, because I did experience that, right? As players, we'd be sitting there all of a sudden, like, boom, we got hit, and I have no clue where that came from. And as a coach, that's one of the most frustrating things to hear, right, from your player.
Oh,
yes. I have no clue, right? So it's like, well, that doesn't help,
But I actually appreciate the player that says, I don't know what happened, rather than one that says they got shot by a bounce shot.
Right. I would much rather him just say,
yeah, be like, I have no idea. We need to watch it later, because I don't know.
That's right. I think that's great. But yeah, it's something that's been fascinating. I think engaging coaches like yourself and others, and even divisional coaches, and everyone has a different perspective on that question. And I just thought it was kind of interesting to ask. What's let's close this up. Let's have one more. What's something you used to believe about coaching that you no longer believe?
That's a simple one. Well, I do not believe in playing the best 5 guys all the time, because there's a lot of reasons, but a lot of people will be like, those are your best 5 guys. And I'll be like, not at that spot, or not after he's played 7 points in a row and it's 400,000 degrees, like every paintball tournament, or it's raining and his stuff is just ruined. Like, So that's something I used to think was very important, and I do not think so at all anymore.
Right. Right. You a lot of times, right? Why are you not playing your best five? I used to take a lot of heat at events where people didn't agree with some of my line calls. And even the commentators would be sitting there going, what is Bianca doing?
Yeah.
Right? And trust me, I'm not doing it just because I'm randomly wanting to get somebody playtime. That's not what it is. So
Yeah.
these players showed me something at practice,
Yes.
and it's part of the plan. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. But
Or
you know,
the plan isn't working.
if the
So
plan's
we have
not
to
working,
change something.
that's right. We got to change something. And a lot of times when a player who knows he hasn't been performing well finally gets that shot, there's magic, right?
Yes.
He throws everything at it. So
Yeah.
it's hard, but I love it. Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's kind of our first segment there where we did that. And that only took us 40 minutes. That's not too bad.
Oh,
We've got lots
okay.
of stuff in here going along. But now this is the segment I'm kind of looking forward to, right? Is the agree versus disagree segment. You know, eventually we're going to get to the point where we can have these buttons, Kevin, on the Kosher show,
Yeah.
and press them and it does this cool stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like a late night show or something.
Yes.
You know, all the other cool
Jeopardy.
Yeah, all the other cool cats do it on their podcast.
Yeah.
We're still kind of basic, but then, you know, we're old. So, all right, agree versus disagree. Everyone out there in podcast land listening and within our voice, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to read a sentence, and then Kevin and I have to state whether we agree or disagree, and then give at least some form of explanation why it is the way it is. Are we ready to play? You good to go? I just saw a deep swallow there, Kevin. You're nervous.
No, I'm not.
I know. So, Matt, oh my gosh, we just talked about this. Here we go. The best player should always be on the field.
No. Disagree.
Okay. All right. I would disagree. Now, but I'm probably going to get roasted here for why. All right. So hear me out. But it might be exactly what you were kind of hinting at earlier. So I do not believe the best player should always be on the field. The best team should be on the field, right? If your best player is a great individual, but he's not doing what the team needs him to do, then congratulations. You've got a really good player sitting on the bench. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the goal is never about rewarding the 5 best individual players. Is to put the best 5-man combination on the field for that situation.
And sometimes it's for something different. Like for example, if it's like this happens all the time in pro matches. There's 18 seconds left. Putting your best guy out there is dumb at that point, because if you know you're going to go to overtime, that's not the smartest move. So it could be something very simple like that, like you're charging your guy back up again.
Right.
So there's a lot of different reasons why that, and it depends on things like what we talked about earlier. Like if you have 4 matches on a Sunday, you can't. I mean, can you play every point? Of course, some of the people can. Are you going to be at 100% every point? No way.
No.
So
I'm
that's
of the belief
not
that
true.
no player is ever at 100% actually. So
no, not after the first point. No.
Nope,
yeah.
Nope. And think about that. So, but I'm going to play that guys who's 60% is better than the other guys 80% sometimes.
Sometimes that happens. Yes.
Yeah. So a great player who isn't executing. Maybe he didn't practice well, or doesn't fit the current game plan. Doesn't automatically get a spot.
or layout. Like sometimes there's just not a great spot, a layout, or you don't have anyone that can do it. Like, or it'd be like, no one's done it really very well at all. So,
but it's that simple, right? Yes, usually the best players should be playing, right? If they did their job, if they put in the work, we're executing well, and isn't on if he's. A lot of people talk about, on paper, right? If he's on paper considered the best player, okay, that doesn't necessarily mean he gets the role. But anyway, I think, all right, we both agreed to disagree on that. That was a good one. That was a good one. And I see that when Joey K, we'll get to it. We'll add that to the list. All right, practice should be harder than a tournament.
Disagree.
Disagree? All right.
Yeah.
All right. I agree mostly.
Okay.
You want me to explain first?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You go
All right.
first.
Okay. Okay. So practice should create adversity for sure, right? And that adversity should expose weaknesses before the tournament or your competition exposes those weaknesses. Okay. But harder doesn't mean miserable. It means higher
Cool.
standards, more accountability, more repetition, and more deliberate pressure. So that's what I would say. Yes, practice should be harder because that's when we're really putting in the work to understand so that we can perform at our best at the event. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I disagree. Well, I just feel like practice should be preparing you. Like that's which is kind of what you're saying.
Right.
But it's like I
Practice
think
prepare you for the
it's
hard stuff.
yes, but you need to prepare for it. It shouldn't be super hard because you need to you have to understand it before you don't take the test before you study.
Right.
So like that's kind of the way. It's just a different viewpoint, I guess.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
in a way, it might be saying the same thing, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We're just, getting kind of hyper philosophical there, I guess. All right. Let's see. Players need to earn playing time.
I disagree.
Oh, please explain.
Well, because it's like it depends. Like when are we talking? Like so if uh I pick up, I don't, let's say who should I pick up? If I pick up Dalton, who I've coached before,
Right.
do I think he has to try out for the team? No, he does not. So he does not need to earn playing time. Will he need to earn like on that particular layout? Sure, I guess, but not really, because I would already probably feel good about playing him.
I see.
So it depends, I guess.
Okay. All right. I would 100% agree. And here's my approach, right?
Yeah.
Playing time's not a participation trophy, right? You earn trust through preparation, consistency, execution, attitude, reliability. In my opinion, I've always believed that talent gets you noticed, but trust gets you on the field. I think that's where a lot of players get confused, right? Especially in divisionals, right? And this applies to professional as well, in my opinion. You don't earn playing time at the tournament. You earn it on the Tuesday, the Wednesday, the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday morning when everybody's watching, right?
Yeah.
And like your teammates, right? Everybody. The tournament is where you collect a paycheck for the work you already did.
Okay. Yeah. We're rich from going to tournaments. I know that.
So that's just kind of where I'm kind of right. I think, now granted, I have some talented players on my team, right? Do I have a Marcelo Margot in a Mouse and in a,
Maybe.
I very well might, right?
Yeah.
And so do I lean towards those guys? Absolutely. But the beauty of a lot of the guys on my team, I don't normally have to do that. If they don't feel they're performing well, they'll say, I'm not getting it done, man. Get so-and-so in and see what they can do. Right.
Right. But sometimes do you lean, like as coaches, you lean on people too much? Or you go the opposite way and be like, well, I have to give this guy a chance. And that's like something where we know when we made a mistake or not. Like we leaned too long, or like we should have tried someone else or moved someone somewhere else. Like that's a really tricky one, is when to know when to do that.
Bingo. And that's where I think when you and I were talking, Larry, about coaches make mistakes all the time, more than players. I think that's one of the leading contributors to that.
Oh yeah.
It's oh man, I should have switched earlier. I should have done this.
Yeah. Or I didn't even
2020.
Yeah, or didn't try earlier, like in a different match, to see if he could do that or whatever it is.
I gotcha. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we again kind of not saying the same thing, but kind of. Okay, the next one is, let's see what we got here. A coach should never yell at his players.
I don't like the words never or always. I don't like those words. Like, because I think they're ridiculous. Like saying that just I don't usually, I would say I think yelling too much is a real problem. Like, because then people tune you out. But when you yell like once a tournament, I think it can be very, very effective. So,
Yeah. I too disagree with this, right? I would
yeah.
not advocate screaming simply because you're angry.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
yeah, but there are certainly moments when intensity is necessary, right?
And it's efficiency as well. So
Bingo.
sometimes saying bad words helps.
Right. We call it warrior speak, or I do.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
call it
Yeah.
warrior speak, right? That trauma, that shock to the system, right? The distinction to me, excuse me, in my opinion, is between demanding something and being abusive.
Yeah.
Right? So a coach can be loud without being disrespectful, right? We
Yes.
can show that passion, but I certainly understand losing patience and whatnot. I mean, I've learned that one a lot.
Oh, and players do that too. So it's like,
100%.
yeah. And then you times ours by 10 or whatever it is. And yes, it's more likely that the coaches will lose their patience first.
Right.
They
It
shouldn't, but it happens.
So when you have a player that loses their patience, do you
Yes.
respond with losing yours, or do you try to?
My favorite technique is putting them in timeout.
And
Like in a different way. Like it's not different than a little kid. Like you just be like, well, why don't you go over there and think about it and then come back when you're ready? Because right now you're not ready. And it's gonna waste time. Like it's like for me, I've always found it very, very important at all practices. There's 10 people there. Don't waste like you wasting everyone's time is times 10 or more even.
Right.
So it's like I feel like if you're the problem, then you should leave.
Right.
So,
Bingo, right?
yeah. So, I mean, and we can still be productive with the other 9 or whatever. But I mean, obviously players they're competitive too. So there's a balance there as well. So like if they're never angry especially when there's mistakes, then I get concerned.
Right.
Like I'll give you a great example. Like, so for me, like the veterans were playing the U19 this weekend, and it was like there was a little trash talking and stuff like that. But to me, that means they care. So I think it's good. Maybe I don't. To me, they were like, "We're on the same team." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're on the same bigger team, but you're not on the same team." So, yeah.
I think when you're like, for instance, when you have trash talking and with your team or whatever, your friends, what have you, I'm like, I'm cool with it if it's fun, right? If it's meant to be fun, it's meant to kind of motivate, right? But if it starts getting personal, that's unnecessary, right? Now look, some people lean into that, right?
Yeah, well, it works
from real work though.
Yeah, but I also think it can help players have a common enemy. So
that's a valid point.
So like when you're like, we hate Mike is terrible, he keeps talking trash to us, and he's beating us, so he's the enemy. So they don't yell at each other, they yell you. So that's kind of what I was thinking in this particular case, why I kind of liked it. Because I knew they would be like, we are mad at Markey, or which was the case this weekend. So
when you do the timeout thing, I don't do the timeout thing. A lot of times
I don't say timeout.
Well,
I love
that though. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna set up
just go over there and think about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna remember in school when they used to make you wear the dunce cap, right? It's like,
yes,
exactly. Sit in that chair.
Wait, is that real? Like, did the people? I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was real.
I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember an actual hat, but I mean, maybe that would work too.
Nuns are vicious, That's why my knuckles are the way they are. So. But yeah, I'll usually like, yeah. You tired? You hot? You need water? Need
That's what you go for? Yeah.
I'm like, everything all right? Is everything good at
home?
That's it.
Yes.
But yeah, it's no, I'll try to diffuse, and then if it doesn't work, then I'm just like, you know what, man, just go over there right now and shut up. So
yeah,
it doesn't always work, but
no,
it is what it is. All right, that actually, you know what, this is a great follow up. You can't coach effort.
I kind of agree with that. I don't think you can coach effort. I think you can provide examples of effort and where effort can get you, but I don't think you can, to the base of it. No, I don't think you can.
Yeah,
You can inspire effort, but you
right.
cannot.
Yeah, you and I
Yes.
are on the same page here. You can establish standards, you can create accountability, you can measure performance, you can build
Yes.
habits. If a player consistently chooses not to give effort, that's a character flaw, right? That's a commitment problem. That's not a coaching problem. Right?
Yes.
So you can measure effort, you can demand effort. What you can't do is make somebody care.
Yes.
At some point, the player has to decide who he wants to be. So yeah,
And on this one in particular, I don't think this is a coach's job. This is a teammate job. So
that's a
I
culture.
think yeah, well, but that's yes, but then have I feel weird when people say culture because that's like I don't know what that means. Like
I can help
like
it. Yeah.
okay, but like the culture is the people on the team. Like it's not a like it's just your teammates.
Yes
Like
and no. I think when we talk
like
about
what's good culture? Like I don't like when you're not fighting each other. Like I don't really get
well,
that
do you know what
part.
a
I
soap
guess
party is in the Marine Corps?
no,
Okay. All right. So it's I don't think it gets done anymore,
probably not.
but if someone in the unit or someone in the whatever is causing the others to suffer because right when someone messes up, we all
Right,
pay for it.
right.
Go ahead and take your go have fan room counseling. That's right. So basically, what'll happen is when you're unsuspecting, right, you'll get trapped, and then everyone will put their bar of soap in their washcloth, roll it up, and everyone gets to beat on you, right?
Okay.
And then you go back to
So
sleep.
that promotes good culture.
It promotes good culture. No, what I'm saying is that's an example of culture, right? Is that a good
Okay,
culture?
that's bad. I think
Yeah.
that's bad.
So
I don't
I
know.
think it's great for warriors, right? I think it's absolutely
Sure,
fantastic culture for warriors. For paintball players, no, I don't want you guys
probably not.
taping a guy down and then beating him with bars of soap. It's not what I'm saying. But I think I do agree with you to a point, right? It's those personalities, but sometimes those personalities can derail certain things. And I think you got to kind of
Oh
establish
yeah,
a standard, right?
yeah.
So, hey, I and Ryan have talked about this a lot. I have a thing that I write, and basically my expectations. These are my expectations for you as a person on this team, right? And I know that sounds a little hokey to some people, but it is. It's like, look, this is what I expect. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't want you to be some internet guy that goes out and you know I mean, if you're a criminal, right? I mean, it's like all these different things. Like if I find out you're beating women, that's not cool. I don't want you on the team, right? That sort of
Well,
thing, right?
but is your culture as criminals good if there's a group of you and you teach each other how to be better criminals? Because I
And you're
feel like that's
winning.
still good culture. Yes.
If you're winning, yeah, I think we're good.
So I don't know if that's good or not. So because to me that's good culture. Maybe bad moral judgment, but good culture.
Right, right. But ultimately, right? We want standards, we want discipline, we want motivation, we want all different things. But you make a point, which is funny because yes, Joey K, that's absolutely spot on. Which is funny because our next question is culture is more important than talent. But you don't know what culture is, so I don't think you can answer this question. I'm kidding, of course. Culture is more important than talent. What do you say? What say you? Agree? Disagree?
Culture is more important than talent.
Yeah.
I think to start with, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, because you'll get more effort out of it, and it's easier to develop talent than the other way around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still possible. It's just harder, I think.
Now that I think about this question in context, it'll actually help me answer the other one. I think I would agree. Right, talent without culture eventually becomes 5 individuals playing their own game. Right?
Yeah, I saw this clip. It's I can't remember which football coach. It's like a college football coach, and some kid asked him, "Is technique or effort more important?" And the coach said, "Effort, because you can teach technique." And that's kind of what we're talking about.
That's spot on, right?
Yeah.
Culture determines how people behave when things get difficult, right?
Yeah.
I believe that talent gives you potential, but culture determines if it gets used effectively or not, right? So culture determines if you realize you are talented. Does that make sense? Talent is what you do, but culture is what the team expects, accepts, reinforces, and does repeatedly, right? So,
Yeah.
So I would say culture could breed talent. So in my mind, culture.
Yeah, okay, that makes a little more sense. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. What's this next one here? A coach's job is to make players uncomfortable.
I don't. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
That's a sort of, because it depends. Like be just uncomfortable to be uncomfortable. No, if it's uncomfortable to get better at a thing they're not good at, yes.
Perfect.
But if it's just to be asshole, that is not the move.
That's right.
Like, and some people like doing that stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's helpful. But
yeah, it's not in my DNA. I agree, but like you, I have a caveat, right? A coach's job is to make players capable of performing outside their comfort zone. That's different from making them uncomfortable for the sake of discomfort.
Yes.
Right. So, which is what you were saying, I think. So
exactly the same thing. Yeah. It's just like, if you're trying to be prepared for the event and have backup plans, sure. But if you're doing it just for your own personal enjoyment to watch people suffer, that's a different thing.
Yeah, you've got issues.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
So probably going to jail. I'd hate to be a the discomfort should have a purpose, right?
Yes.
Growth, adaptation, accountability, preparation, all that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We agree on that one. Excellent.
Yeah.
The best teams don't need motivation. Ooh, yeah.
I think all teams need motivation. Yeah, what that motivation is dramatically different depending on the teams and the players.
Absolutely. I think we both disagree that the best teams don't need motivation.
Yeah, I think they need it more.
I think you're right.
Because it's like, oh, we already won a tournament, whatever. Like, I think it's harder.
Right. I think everyone needs motivation sometimes. Right?
Yes.
The difference is that great teams don't have to be motivated to care. Their motivation usually comes from, like we were talking, the culture, right? The standards, the pride, the preparation, one another, right?
Yeah.
A coach shouldn't have to manufacture their desire, right? They should.
No, yeah, exactly. Which is the effort. It's just the same as the effort thing. So yes.
We're rocking on this. Wow, we're actually agreeing more than I thought we would.
Yeah.
Players should understand why they're doing a drill.
No.
Ooh.
Disagree. I don't think they need to know why they're doing the drill. They should ask why they're doing the drill.
Oh, see,
later.
Clever. I see what you did there.
No, what is that thing where you don't give them a fish, you teach them how to fish? That's what I always, I try to do a lot, because if they can answer the questions, then I don't need to. And then we're done with that drill then.
Okay. That's fascinating. Okay, so my philosophy has always been that a drill without a purpose is simply exercise, right? So players should understand what skill they're developing, why it matters, how it translates to the game, and what success looks like when doing it.
Yeah, but sometimes this is almost like being a little bit uncomfortable. Like I don't think you have to understand what the drill is for. You should understand it when you're done.
Fascinating.
I have one I'm going to try this weekend that is new and people are not going to like. But I'm curious to see what happens, because I think people will be very upset, but they will understand immediately what it's for.
I got you.
So yes, I don't want to share it because I don't want them to know, but I will after. Like I'll do it for our Texas.
I like it. Definitely text me when you finish.
Yes,
I want to know.
yeah,
But
yeah, because it's going to solve problems, and they're immediately going to understand it and hate it at the same time.
I get it. We actually introduced a new drill 2 practices ago, and it was actually as a joke.
Okay,
Like it was kind of as a joke punishment type thing.
Got it.
But then as it was going, I was like, "There's
This is
real.
helpful.
This is cool. There is real good stuff here.
Value, yeah,
There was value in it." And I was like,
yeah.
"This just got added, boys," and they were all like, "Oh, you suck."
Gosh,
But I think they all agreed though that they all agreed. They were like, "Yeah, we get it.
yeah.
Better." So,
Mhm.
all right, okay, here we go. I think we're up on the last one, and then we'll go into the chat and get some questions out there. Sometimes you have to hurt a player's feelings to make him better.
Agree. I told this to because I don't know like the women's team. Like for example, we were talking about stuff, and I was like, I don't care about your feelings. This is a competitive paintball team. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to be like me. Like I'm. The reason I don't care about them is because I'm being efficient, and you don't have time. Like in the match. Afterwards, we can talk about it and have a therapy session. But like during it, I don't care. Like if I have to say something that sounds mean, it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
And it shouldn't bother you because it's not personal. It's because I'm competitive, just like you should be.
There it is. It's not personal, right? See,
Yeah.
and that's how I look at this. Is why I disagree with that, or rather agree with it so much. Sometimes you have to hurt a player's feelings. I'd change the wording a bit.
Yeah.
You don't try to hurt someone's feelings. You're telling them the truth.
Yes.
You tell them what they need to hear, even when the truth hurts.
Yes.
You know, a coach's responsibility isn't to protect a player's feelings, like you said, right? It's to protect their opportunity to improve.
Yes.
But I would say that humiliation is not coaching.
Right. Like that's like the yelling at the players, like that.
Right.
Yeah. That it's the way. It's what you're trying to get out of it. Yeah. But I'm not like saying, oh, yeah, like not gonna make fun of someone's hair or something, like but like I mean, I would, but not during a match.
Hair, Kevin.
No, yours is nice. Mine, it's just been moving. So yeah,
looks great today.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, oh yeah,
they are. Trust me.
Yeah. So I don't, but I mean, her players. I think it's also you have to adjust this slightly depending on how old the people are too. Because the way I would talk to a U16 player and the way I would talk to a veteran player is very different.
Yeah, that's
like
great.
Because there's a little bit of wisdom and they already know. So I do, but I'm not saying I wouldn't hurt their feelings. I would. I would be a little more careful the way I would say it.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, right, we're not here to make you feel good.
No.
We're here to make you better.
Yes.
Sometimes those two things are the same. Sometimes they aren't. But
Yeah.
I have this conversation all the time, right? Is like when I'm trying to coach somebody and they just had a bad point and I'm coming in to talk to them and they're here at this level and I come in to talk to them. And then if I come in and I sit there and I go, blah, 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 you stupid idiot, blah, blah, blah. Now they drop to here. And now I have to spend all this extra time just to get them back to where I wanted them to improve from in the first place. So I've actually made my job harder.
Yeah, which we don't want to do.
No, it's hard enough as it is.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
We don't. And so I would much rather sit there and have that moment where, okay, maybe they only get 0.01% improvement out of it, but at least it didn't drop and I don't have to spend more time getting them back up to.
Or they just learned a lesson so they don't do the same mistake. That's like, to me, that's the biggest thing. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't too bad, man. We got through it. That's all the ones I had. So let me ask a question. Those of you who just joined us in the chat, I've got a couple of these questions starred. But now here's the opportunity. We're going to have an open forum here. And while I go and kind of get the questions pieced together, get your questions in here, We're gonna let Kevin tell one of his famous stories, if you still want to do that.
Oh no, I can do that. Well, I want to answer this one first.
Which
So
okay, which one?
Joey
Let me
asked,
pull up the story.
do you miss penalty boxes, the ones you starred?
Yep, I got it. Cool.
So
Perfect.
no, I don't miss penalty boxes because I think the penalty system is dumb right now. So because I think what you should do is start with less players the next point, no matter what kind of penalty it is.
Whether it's a minor
So,
or a red goes up,
yes.
let the point
It's
play
whether
out.
it's one or two, but you will, because it doesn't really discourage breaking the rules more than it should. It should be like you have to start down that. It should be like what reds are. That's what a yellow should be, and then a red should be worse than that.
Wow.
Because otherwise, it's like at the end of the points, oh, I cheated, but I got a red anyway. Like it didn't matter. Like so, I think and I know there's some automatic point stuff, but like I just don't love the way the penalties work in our system, and it also sometimes the refs like sometimes by the time a ref gets to the other guy to pull him, he's shot or red. Like there's so many variables.
Right.
Let's just make it really bad, and then less people will break the rules. Or not all of it's cheating too.
Right.
It is in a way, but like
Sure.
if you run out to a corner, get shot in the pack, and then you like didn't obviously that's not as bad as some other stuff.
Egregious as others.
Yes.
No, look, for instance, we were talking about what we called a tactical penalty at the last event. So three players on the team, right? 3 players on the team knew that dead man's walk was going to happen. They were like, he's not shot. He's not shot. Had they just said, shoot that guy, just shoot him, and we got the penalty, that's fine. We had 4 players. We would have lost 2. We shot him. Now we win the point. Doesn't matter, right?
Right.
So after that was over, I remember telling him, I said, next time you say something, I don't care.
Exactly.
So,
like I mean, sometimes a penalty is not so bad,
right.
So
exactly. Thank you, Enrique. I cannot thank Enrique Sandoval enough for that. I don't know how that stuff works, but I appreciate it. Now he actually comes in with a question. Do you think there is space opening for the non-previous player coach? For example, a coach who is strictly trained to be a coach. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Totally. I think it might even be helpful in certain areas, especially if you're trained to be like, I'm sure there's some different training that obviously Mike and I have not had on how to deal with different types of people or how people learn. That's the thing. It's taken me a long time to really figure out. There's a wide variety of ways people learn. And if I knew that ahead of time, I would have been way farther ahead earlier.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's no, like I could totally see like a parent that had never played coach their kids team and start from the lower levels, and you could be just as absolutely. I see it all the time at the USA stuff. There's all these parents there, and they know half the stuff I do. Like, and I'm like, well, yeah. So, like, yes, that is absolutely the case, and I think that happens in other sports too. There's plenty of people that have, that can coach stuff that they haven't played.
Yeah, I was, I didn't play baseball past high school, but I coached my son's baseball teams, right? So it's like, if you understand the fundamentals, you understand how the game's played, absolutely you can get in there and do it. Matter of fact, I bet you there's probably a coach out there who's absolutely outstanding, who's never played paintball in his life.
Probably.
Yeah. So good question. I like that.
Yeah, that is a good one.
This one's silly. Let's just get the Mike, please keep making the vlogs. I really enjoy them. You guys should eventually get episodes like what Infamous does. We need more paintball that's why I started, is because of this. We need more paintball documentary episodes exposure on YouTube. I don't disagree. I love what the Infamous guys has done. What just happened? Why is
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't get that down now. So let me pull that up here. But I thought that was interesting because we do need more commentary like that. I think that's how you tell the stories. That's how we're going to sell this sort of thing, right? Everyone talks about that, about trying to build that sort of thing. So and say that's what I'm. Anyway, I'm trying to find it. There it is, and now we want to hide it. Bam! It worked.
There you go. You're improving. Good job.
Improving. See, I learned something. I can be.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? Right? What do you think about, like, everyone talks about F1, right?
Well, no, I think that type of format would be the most conducive to paintball because it would be about. It's hard to watch paintball. There's 10. There's not one ball like most other sports. There's 10, it's like you can't follow Formula One. There's 20 people on the track all the time, or 22 now. So it's impossible to follow like every little battle on the field or on the racetrack or whatever. So I think I've thought that for a while that that's the way to do it. Like, I mean, I watched the one on ESPN like 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and I mean that was cool. It was good, but it's also I don't know if that's the best way to show it. You know.
I do agree. I think the documentary style thing where you see the personality, you see what he goes through, you
Yes.
see him training, you see him hanging with his friends, you see him at
Yeah.
the airport, you see him as an individual on the field playing, and you hear him, he's mic'd
Yeah.
up, you hear what he's saying and what he's doing, his conversation with his coach. I think all of that would be incredibly intense and
Right.
could tell a great story. So
Right. Yeah, more like the Hard Knocks type of thing where it's like or
yeah,
stuff like that, or it's
Hard
more
Knocks is a
about
good one.
it's like a reality show, like or team building or whatever it may be. I think that to me that's more interesting than watching it on TV. That should just be like this happened at this event, and then you watch the reactions after that. So
Perfect. I love it. And you could oh, it's just so many opportunities. But of course, I'd imagine the production would be significant and time consuming. But and not everybody
cool.
wants a
Oh,
camera following
big
you
time.
around. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't like that either. So yeah.
So all right, last one for the evening, since it doesn't seem like anyone got any more questions in, or have they? Have they all been coming in here? Oh, here we go. First of all, let's go ahead and let's do this one real quick. Ryan Greenspan is the GOAT over Ollie Lang. Agree or disagree?
Well, Ryan's not done. So, like, I kind of think it's like people ask that, like, oh, who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron? Well, Michael Jordan retired. LeBron hasn't yet. So, I don't know yet. Like, I got to wait until they're both done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and who knows? Oliver could come back any event.
That's a valid point, right?
Yeah. So,
You never
like,
know.
he, like, a couple of years ago, he like, messaged me and he's like, hey, do you think I could play at the next event? I forget. It was a couple of years ago. I was like, what are you talking about? You haven't played at all. I was like, well, if you come to both the practices, they'll give you a chance. And then he was actually good. And I was like, geez, that's irritating. That was really irritating as a coach. Like, I'm like, this sucks. So, like, I was like, why? Why is he better than you guys? So,
Yeah. So I love it. I do believe, and I've had, I know both those gentlemen. I remember being a huge fan of both. I've been part of a program with Ryan, of course, and of course had a great conversation before I even took that job with Ollie.
yeah.
I'm with you. I think if I had to give an answer, I'm giving an edge to one of them, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I think you make a great analogy, right, with Jordan, and I
Yeah.
think that's the point.
Because
So,
I think we would both say like LeBron's career it's been much longer, but I
Right.
would say Michael Jordan's peaks were probably higher. Like,
bingo,
but
right? Yeah.
yeah. So which one of those is better? It depends on really what you want. This is a good question down here. That one,
Okay.
that last one.
All right, let's pull it up. It says, what are the types of questions or qualities you would look for an assistant coach?
This is good. Yeah.
Ooh, that is a good one. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. He's correcting it. Hang on a second. He says, I meant what questions would an aspiring assistant coach be asking to earn a spot as an assistant? Well, I'm not so sure it's about the questions you're asking. Do you understand the question?
I don't know if I understand it, but I think I would know I would want an assistant coach that thinks differently than me.
There.
So, because it does no good to have someone agree with me a bunch of times. Like that's actually, and what's good, and sometimes when that's the person that disagrees with you a lot, or says like, I think this way is better, or whatever, when you both agree, it's really probably right. So that's like, because half the time, I think you know this, Mike, like half the time you're like, I hope this is the right thing to do. Like you don't know, and you're like, I hope this is it, but this is what I think it is, and it's your best, like educated guess. That's kind of what we're doing most of the time, right?
Right. That's really
So,
what it is.
and
Right?
yeah, so I mean, there's so many variables, it's impossible for us to figure that out. So I'd want someone that at least challenges my plays, or like, let's say I make a play, I would be like, these are the holes in the play, and I want it to be slightly different than the way I think, or very different if that's the case. So
I agree with you. I like that quality, right? We want the guy to challenge you, but at the same time, I want a guy that there's that trust, right? Where,
yes,
hey man, I think this is the best thing based off, this is my best guess at this, and that gives you that confidence, right? That builds you up.
yeah, and I think it's important too is that you don't, like assistant coaches, or I don't even know what you'd call them, but like they don't you don't say different things to a player, because that's super confusing. Like let's say Joey says this thing to a guy and then I say something else, then the player's like, what is going on? So you have to be on the same page, or like, I mean, you can talk about it ahead of time, which is what most coaches do,
Mhm.
and they already know what's going to happen. So then there's a good cop and bad cop, or whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah. It's
So like,
funny. I actually had a situation like that this weekend, right? Remember I was telling you I had a young man who was injured and he was helping me out this weekend, and he was walking out and saying things to players after a point. And I finally was like, hey,
no, yeah,
no, no, get me first, get off the field. And then
yes,
I went and said what I had to say. And then I go over and say, what were you going to say? And he
yeah.
would tell me, and I'm like, yeah, see, that wouldn't have gone well.
No, or it's contrary to what you were saying, or he missed a part of the play. Like this happened this weekend. Like I wasn't calling the plays for any of these teams, obviously.
Mhm.
So then, like one of the players would ask me, "What should I have done?" I'm like, "I don't know. I
Right.
don't know what your coach said, what your job was exactly. So, like, ask him."
Right. I get that all the time.
So,
People
and
send me
like,
video, right? And they're like, what should I
yeah,
have
they're
done to
really,
this? And I'm like, I don't know what the goal
I
was.
don't know. Yeah. So,
Right.
like, and then people are like, well, how do you not know? And I'm like, well, I don't know what the goal was. If
Right.
he's trying to get you to be better at something, or whatever it may
Right.
be. Like I don't like overstep in that. That's the thing that's important too, is
Yeah.
like it doesn't, even if like I think Mike and I agree, even if the game plan's bad, as long as everyone's doing the same game plan, it's better than one that no one knows what's going on.
I absolutely agree 100%. Hey, we don't know if this is
So
going to work, but as long as we do it together.
yeah,
Right.
well, yeah.
So I love it. That's good stuff. I hope that answered your question, Enrique. Yeah, the qualities you want to look for, right, is effective challenging, and a trustworthy kind of guy with an intellect, right, who knows how to communicate.
And realizing messaging comes across from, even if it's slightly different, which is actually helpful. It's the same goal.
It's the same message, right? Knows
Yes,
when to step aside, let coach do coach. And
yes.
then, right. So I love it. Papa Sash, Texas is in the house. When you were working with beginners or D5 players new to tournament paintball, when was the last time you did that?
So
Anyway,
so
how much
this is
time would
something.
you spend on individual
So
skills?
this is something I've realized more lately. I
Mhm.
am terrible at coaching lower level teams,
Okay.
because I haven't done it in so long, and I what I want to get done is so far from what they are capable of, and
Right.
that's not in a mean way. It's just where I'm
Yep.
at. I'm awful at coaching those teams.
Right.
Like like the Division 4 team goes like, "Hey, can you coach us?" I'm like, "You probably don't want me." So,
You know, I, you know, that's a great point, right?
yeah.
I'm going to put things in your head that you don't need to be thinking about right now.
Yes. Like, and you'll be confused the whole time.
I would say that I'm probably I'm a developmental coach. I do pretty well in the developmental perspective. And to answer to once again, so Papa Sasha's question is, when you're working with beginners or D5 players new to tournament paintball, how much time would you spend on individual skill drills versus situational drills? And I'll go ahead and tell you this. The answer is I would spend a lot on individual skill drills. A lot. At least 50-50.
Well,
Right.
so the only thing I would say that is different, I would say I would disagree, is it depends if the whole team's there or not. So if the whole team's there, you should spend all the time on team type drills. What you
Granted.
can do, which I think Mike agrees with this, is you give individuals individual drills, but they can do those on when it's like when 10 people are not going to wait for one person when there's 10. Like, we're not doing that. So it's the same concept, because the amount of time you're going to have all of them together is lower, an individual. But
Well, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say but let me piggyback on that, because I think you make a good point. Like, especially in the lower divisions, right? When you're at the net, in between the nets, that's team time. We should be focusing on that.
Yeah.
However, if you're smart and you're a coach who knows how to manage time, right? You can sit there and you can create a drill set where you have certain individual skills where 3 drills are going at the same time.
Yes,
You can do that. And now as a coach, and this is where it comes in handy to video things, is you set expectations for those drills and you video them when you can. And then for after practice, right? We talk about feedback there, but after practice as a coach, you take the time, you look at the video, you send it to that individual and say, hey, I'd like you to work on this, this, and this. This is what I saw. So, video can be your friend. It can be your enemy if you're a player, especially if you're a cheater. But there are things like that you can do that. I agree with you that when you got the team together, let's work on these team things. But at the same time, it's also important for your teammates to see your capabilities. And so I think you do some of those drills together.
Yeah, and you can make it competitive too, which is like what every team enjoys.
Right. I love to do that too. Oh, so-and-so just ran that drill really well.
He was better at it than you. Yes.
So I can do it. So,
yeah.
I like that. We used to have a saying on a team: disagreement does not mean disloyalty. It's correct.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. That's like, there's certain players like I have to spend more time with, because they don't just say yes. Like, so I can't have all. So this is before I would on Dynasty, I would coach 2. There were distinctly 2 different types of players on the team at that time. There were the dum-dums and the smarties. It had nothing to do with their actual intelligence.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But the dum-dums didn't care. They'd be like, I'll go do that. You want to try that once? No problem. I'll go do that. I don't care. The smarties would be like, but I don't really want. I'm like, no, I'll take the dum-dums all day. Like, those are. But I mean, the smarties do help challenge you to develop better plays and stuff.
Correct.
So if you have all dum-dums, it's not good, because then you're just a sergeant giving out orders that you're not sure if they're right.
But remember, he was talking about beginner and D5.
Yes.
So
right.
In my opinion, speed kills from D3 down. Speed kills.
Yes, sure.
Be hyper aggressive. Be super fast.
Yes.
Right. Panic people. Right. It works the opposite way in D2, D1. Speed kills the opposite way. If you're going too fast, you're probably going to get smoked. But
or you're too cautious, and you're like, there's no way you could ever make it, but the team you're playing against makes it there.
There it is.
That's super annoying
I love it. All right, let's finish out with this one. I've had you long enough. I know you want to get home. You're probably just getting off work, or your work had just
so at work, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Joey K, if you could add another staff role on damage, what would it be and why?
What do you mean? Staff role, like as like
So you're a coach.
I
Joey's
don't
kind
need.
of a
I don't.
manager,
He's kind of like more like a.
motivational speaker.
No, no. No, I don't see. The thing is, but like Joey won't change. It's weird. I don't know. It's hard. That's hard to explain. Like,
This
it's
is
a very
great
unique
question. Look at
dynamic
you, getting all flustered.
because Joey's more like a GM on a team, like on a team.
Okay,
He'll
yeah.
like pick up the players. He deals with a lot of stuff like a normal sports GM would as well. But like obviously, like we are on the same page, so he will help more with individual skills and stuff too, or he'll focus on an individual person like during a time. And so it's just he would tell you he's not the best coach, but he can organize the stuff. So, like, I'm not saying that. No, that's not the right word. He's not the best like X's and O's coach, but there's a lot of different kinds. So, but Mike Sola also helps me a lot too with scouting and stuff like that, and he's helpful in very different ways. Like, because like we watch all this stuff, like. But Joey doesn't do that much anymore, like he used to, but he doesn't anymore. There's plenty of, like Mike knows, there's plenty of other things you do on a team to make them ready. What I would really want is like an amazing travel agent. That would be the most helpful thing, because then everyone would be super organized, no one worries about it. Everyone blames one person for that. Like when the hotel is terrible, like everyone blames one person and it's not a team member. So that's the staff member I would add. I like that one.
How much does it pay?
I don't know. I don't think it pays anything. So
you couldn't pay people enough for that, I don't think.
Oh no, it's all because no matter what, you with 10 or 12 people, someone got screwed somewhere along.
That's absolutely right.
So here I'll tell you, this is, so people don't believe me, but so this happened this weekend. Well, Friday before the weekend. So basically, you should not fly on a plane with me ever. So it's not because I'm like causing disruptions or anything, but I seem to be unlucky because there's been, from what I remember, there's 11 times a plane has stopped because of a medical emergency at a different airport that I'm supposed to be going. So this happened on Friday. What?
You're the plague.
Yeah, but it's never like next to me, like, but it's on the plane. Right. So I was a little concerned this time because we land. I'm supposed to go from Phoenix to Boston, but instead I I woke up really early, so I fell asleep, and then the pilot's like, "We're now landing in Dallas." I'm like, what the fuck? Did I get on the wrong plane? How's that possible? And then I'm like, I look over and the other person's like, I think something's going on back there. And I was like, okay. All right. So we land in Texas. These like firemen, paramedics, I'm not really sure, but they're wearing like all the gas masks and then like the tanks, like there's not a fire on the plane. So that concerns me.
Right. I would be concerned.
Yeah. And I'm like, but they didn't run on, but they weren't slow either. Because that's a dead giveaway if someone died on your plane. If they're just taking their time, like it means that person's dead. So, which has happened multiple times to me. So it's a run. Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think this person was dead, but I didn't see the person moving and I didn't take pictures because I thought that was rude. You know, if I was on a stretcher, please don't take pictures of me. So they took the person off and whatever. And I don't know what happened to the person. Like that's the other thing is you have no idea what happened. Like and there's no real way to figure it out. Like you don't know what the person's name is, nothing. They don't write anything. So, but there's been multiple times. Yeah, this has happened. Yeah, a lot of times to me.
Wow. So 11 times there's been a medical emergency.
Yeah, where the plane lands somewhere like weird.
Some
one time
it involved death.
Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. For sure. Like one of them was like we was going to Europe and we turned around. That was terrible. I was like, the person's dead. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, do we have to turn around the 300 people? That inconveniences 300 people because of one dead person. To me, that's not efficient. And it's bad for the environment. Like, did they think about that? So
Could have been bad for the internal environment. I mean, you got a rotting
well,
corpse for 14
yeah,
hours.
but we were like literally in the middle. So it was like 2 out. Either way, we have to turn around and go 2 hours back that way. I mean, how long does I don't know enough about dead people to know how long it takes before they start smelling bad. I guess it depends. I don't know. So if anyone actually has, like, if someone's a fireman or paramedic, like, is this an unusual amount of times that someone has?
How did we devolve into this?
Well, because you said to tell a story.
I know.
So this happened this weekend.
You know, when I was coaching Dynasty, the big thing was they always made jokes. They even put up flyers, right? They'd made a flyer of like, do not travel with this man, you know, because my flights would always get delayed. I was always
got it.
So, but no, I never had any. Mine were never.
You never had one?
No, not a.
Wow.
There was one, but it wasn't for paintball. It was like work travel.
Oh, this is just I'm talking about in total, like total tratal, like over a long time.
It's still impressive.
It's still a lot. Like I mean, because no one else.
That is
like,
a lot.
Because at first, so because Julie Roberts, one of the parents of the U19. She was like, "Oh, are you gonna make the team dinner?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make it." And then I was like, "I'm not gonna make it." And then she's like, "Ryan Gray asked how many beers you've had," and I was like, "None." So I like literally took pictures of firemen out my window because they didn't believe that I was like.
But I'm about to start drinking.
Yeah, I was like, I should now. So yeah, I was just like, but that's so. If someone has anyone else had medical emergencies on their plane? Because
I've only had one. I've only one.
Okay.
Let's ask anyone out there. You got
no.
5 seconds. No?
No, I guess not.
All right. Well, listen, man. Hey, we appreciate everyone joining us for episode 125 of the Coaches Show. If you haven't signed up for the Coaches Show Clinic at the Texas NXL, do that, please. You can see the little thing above my head right there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, there it is.
That way.
I'll try and put it in the comments somewhere later this evening because I'm not as cool as Ryan with all that stuff. So if you haven't signed up, do that. We will be talking about the modern coach, like this guy over here. Active game style tactics, the numbers that matter, what and who gives you the best chance to win. Field walking 1.0 versus today, because our field walking 1.0 has evolved. Building a winning culture, a lot more. Anyway, thank you to Max Sportswear, BKI Paintball, Virtue Paintball, Major League Paintball, Tom Cole, Kevin Fillers, Darren Cessna, Amanda Maltz. For Ryan Gray, Kevin Bredthauer, and myself, as always, be responsible.